We all remember the candy we grew up with, but candy is different now. So today I'm testing classic childhood candies against newer TikTok candy recipes. And we're starting with the most nostalgic one that you can literally wear, the candy bracelet. I saw Nara Smith making this from scratch and it blew my mind, so of course we have to try. Let's see how close Nara Smith can get this to be like the real thing. But first she starts by separating her egg whites from her egg yolks. I'm gonna put my egg whites right into the mixer's bowl. Save those for later. And then it looks like she turns it on, and once it gets nice and frothy, she adds what looks like cream of tartar, which just helps with stability. Then as it's running, she continues to pour in her sugar until it gets nice, glossy, and whipped like a meringue. Okay, that looks about good. Similar to hers. She doesn't stand up. Wow. Yep. I think that's good. Okay, but now she separates the meringue into two bowls and then she dyes them in different colors. We'll do pink, of course, and I'll be like her and make the other one purple. Okay, let's mix it all up. Ooh, it's like marshmallowy. It's so fluffy, but also really sticky. Ooh, and that looks so perfect. Okay, it reminds me of like a little peach. Okay, now let's do the purple one. Ooh, yeah. I think I'm gonna go for a more pastel-y purple for this one. You know what would be cool is if I left this looking all streaky where it becomes galaxy-like. Okay, now she transfers her meringue into a piping bag. One down and two. I'm gonna start with the pink one and we're gonna chill the purple one while we pipe. And this might be the most tedious part because she said it took her 2 hours to pipe all these little rings. People in the comments actually got mad. They said the real quick is rage bait genius. The most challenging part I think is to make sure it has a hole in the center because I still need to thread the bracelet string through it later. My hands are not steady enough for this. I thought I got a really small tip, but it's turning out a lot bigger than I hoped. At this point, I may as well just be making Fruit Loops. Let's move on to the purple. Maybe because the purple got colder, it actually feels like it's a little easier to pipe. Mommy, can I have a candy bracelet? Yes, honey, just give me 7 to 10 business days. And that should be enough for a bracelet. And now I have to bake it for an hour. Okay, our meringues have baked and dried, and the sad thing is some of them, the holes are not big enough for the string to go through, so I'm just left with maybe a few, hopefully enough to make a bracelet. Okay, let's get this elastic cord, and I'll just alternate between pink and purple. Honestly, coming from the back, the top hole looks smaller, but when I go in from the back, it actually works really well, and I might be able to use more than I thought. Okay, last couple ones on, and I think we're done. Look how cute it turned out. Well, Nara Smith made this for her daughter because her daughter apparently didn't know what candy bracelets were. I have an idea.
Yes, Mom.
Do you know what these are?
Yeah, I knew that since I was 4 years old.
Wow. Can I put them on you?
Sure.
Look at that.
This is the best thing I ever tasted. It's 2 million out of 10. Actually, 8 million because I'm 8.
Honestly, it's pretty good. I'd say 9 out of 10.
Exactly what she said. Bye.
Those candy bracelets were iconic, but can any of these newer trendy TikTok candies be future classics? Let's find out. Like I said, candies are getting crazy these days. I found these freeze-dried watermelon candy that definitely did not exist when I grew up. Let's see what it tastes like. Ooh. They look like little space nuggets. There's a sour kick to it. The taste is so good, but you know what they remind me of? Those frozen candy grapes that I bought from Facebook Marketplace, except the only way I can get those are from a stranger. So I gotta figure out how to make them myself. And good thing I came across this TikTok because she actually shows us how to make them, and grapes. I need grapes. We're using big grapes. Cotton candy grapes because they taste like candy. But first, let me wash them. And I saw a really cool hack to remove this whole bunch from the stem. All you have to do is get a kitchen towel, lay it out, put the grapes in, cover it, wiggle it around, and voila, this hack gets 5 out of 10. Okay, but wait, listen to that. This is Olipop grape. I grew up obsessed with grape soda. Like, that was pure childhood. But the traditional soda as an adult doesn't really love me back. So Olipop became my switch. And you guys have seen me use Olipop in so many videos. It tastes like that classic soda, but it's a new kind of soda with a functional ingredient blend that supports digestive health. And it's reimagining soda with high fiber and low sugar because 95% of Americans don't get enough fiber, and 2 out of 3 have digestive issues. Oh, yes. That's the taste that takes me back with that grape candy flavor and that fizz. And there's even a free can deal. Buy any 2 Ollipops in store and they'll pay you back for 1. Go to the link in the description box below or scan the QR code. Or you can also find it in the soda aisle and chilled section at Walmart, Target, Costco, and Whole Foods. Thank you to Ollipop for sponsoring this portion of the video. Now let's make our grape candy. Okay, so to make the candy coating that covers the grapes, I'm gonna start with some water, sugar, and corn syrup. Add them to a pot and let it all come up to 300 degrees. Candy making is a process. It's only at 235. New year, new gadget. It's my new laser thermometer. It looks like we're just about there. So now I'm gonna take it off heat and add in our coloring. She started by adding some white thing in there and everyone was going wild because they thought she was adding acrylic paint. Somebody said, do y'all really think that she would add acrylic paint to our food? Actually though, I found out that they make white food color gel, which I've never seen before and could be so useful in my buttercreams. But I'm gonna add a few drops. I can see how people would think this looks like paint. I'm also gonna add some candy flavoring today. We're going with watermelon. Give it a quick stir. Whoa, it's bubbling. It's still so hot. I feel like it could be whiter. Hers was like white. And now she adds some glitter and some pink food coloring. But I went down the Pinterest rabbit hole and I found these beautiful galaxy looking candy grapes and I just have to make them. So apparently to make them really galaxy like, you add a few drops of pink and some blue. Of course I gotta add some glitter in there. We'll add some pink edible glitter and then let me just try to make some swirl patterns so they mix a little bit more streaky. That already looks so cool. But now I have to take some toothpicks, get my giant grape, and then we dip. Whoa, that is so beautiful. I love the streaks that is at the bottom. Except while the sugar was cooking, I went ahead and made a galaxy sprinkle mixture. So let me put that on top. Oh my gosh, it hardened so fast. I was not expecting that. So I'm gonna have to work fast on the next one. The hardest part is to get the bottom parts to fully dip. I'm still scared from the last time I burned myself, but we'll take another one for the team. A longer skewer might have been the better choice for this. Wow, no wonder why these were so expensive on Facebook Marketplace. Phew. Yeah, I would say the long skewer is the way to go because now I have it completely covered. Let's get some sprinkles on there. These are so beautiful. They literally look like glass candy or like a robin's egg. I love all the swirls that we made on there. I can't really see the glitter, but the sprinkles added like a tiny little bit of sparkle. But listen to this. Hard as a rock, but how does it taste? Let's try. I feel like the grapes are a little warm because the candy cooked it. If I started off with frozen grapes, that might have worked a little better, but this is pretty good and it's like a step up from your regular Tanghulu. I'm gonna give these candy grapes 9 out of 10. There was a time when you literally couldn't catch me without some gum in my mouth. I'm sure my parents loved that. It was always juicy fruit or Bubblicious. But these are the only fun gums that I could find at the grocery stores today, which makes me a little sad. But back in the day, Bubblicious had this one version called Ink that made your mouth blue because it had some kind of juice in there. I agree with the creator here when she says there was something about it that was so magical. It's discontinued now, but today I'm gonna bring it back and make it from scratch. Okay, so this creator starts off by pouring her gum base in. If you don't know what gum base is, it looks like this. It's what makes your gum gummy. I got this off a website that I'll link in the description box below if you're interested. Everyone in the comments were freaking out saying they look like little teeth. And yeah, I see it too. Baby teeth. But to make gum, you need your gum base and then we're gonna mix in some corn syrup. Then to give it some flavor, she uses this blue raspberry lemonade powder and we're gonna pour the whole packet in. Let's give it a good stir to mix it up and it's already kind of starting to turn blue. But now I need to melt the gum base so it's nice and stretchy. So we're gonna pop it in the microwave for 2 intervals of 30 seconds, just like she did. I don't know if it's supposed to be this bubbly or not, but the next step is to pour it into a mound of powdered sugar. The gum dries pretty fast, so it gets kind of sticky and stringy. So at this stage, I have to work fast. And it's hot. But the creator did warn us and said if I mix this with my bare hands, I'm gonna turn into a Smurf. So let's put on some gloves. And we need, I don't know if this glove situation was a good idea. My hands were already kind of blue from our last candy bar. We'll just make it work. Honestly, if you have enough powdered sugar on there, it's gonna protect your hands from turning blue. The powdered sugar protects and flavors. Okay, but before this cools down too much, I need to make the juicy fruit inside. Here I already have some blue raspberry squeeze candy. And then to make sure that your mouth really gets inked and colored blue, just like the Bubblicious one used to do, we're gonna add some food coloring. Okay, now I'm gonna get a piece of the gum base. Look how stretchy and chewy this is gonna be. I'm gonna press it into like a little bowl and we're gonna pour in our liquid. Close it up real fast and don't let any of the liquid escape. We're gonna make like a dumpling and just pinch the sides. The dumpling has been sealed, so now I'm just gonna roll it around, some more powdered sugar to really keep it in. And welcome to one of the best things about the 2000s. Let's see if this is as good as I remember. It's delicious and nice and sour and juicy, but did it turn my mouth blue? Mission accomplished. Fruit snacks were the best. A lunchbox staple that was basically candy disguised as snacks. Then TikTok came along and said, what if your fruit snacks had layers and we could make them peelable? Wow. I mean, I don't know who came up with this candy innovation, but it's pretty genius. You literally peel off the outside like it's a fruit, and inside reveals the fruit gummy snack. Although it's a little bit hard to peel, as you can see. And I was only able to find one person that made peelable gummies, and she said they're actually easier to peel than these. So we're gonna make our own and do a side-by-side test to see if that theory is true and which one is actually better. Okay, so she starts by peeling the grapes. I mean, it is peelable gummies after all, so I guess that would make sense. Already, this is gonna take a while. But I saw this gadget that peels your grape in one swipe, and that would have come in so clutch for this recipe. This is so tedious. I'm down to my last two. I feel like you could just use grape juice for this. Last one, and done. So now, let's blend it up. Okay, I got our grape juice, and now we add it into a saucepan. Ooh, the grape juice is kind of murky, along with some sugar, corn syrup, a little bit of lemon juice, butter, cornstarch, and water. I actually was not supposed to add the cornstarch and the water until it started boiling, but I'm gonna mix it in before it starts to boil so we have 0 clumps. I was so distracted by their singing in the video. Hopefully this still turns out. I feel like it should be okay. Okay, we'll turn the heat back on, and now I'm hoping that it'll thicken the way it does in the video. It's starting to bubble and hopefully thicken, but I have to wait until it's super clear, like theirs. Let's just keep stirring. It is thickening. I think it's starting. I mean, it's not like super clear, but it becomes more translucent. Except I'm not really sure when to stop, so I'm gonna let it go for another minute and hopefully that's good enough. Is this supposed to turn into gummies? The only direction I have is to cook the peel until it's glossy and shiny like bling bling. I don't know, but I think this is a good stopping point. Okay, now it looks like she adds the mixture into like a circular mold. I don't have one, but I have these small ones right here. That's the shape of a coffee bean, but it seems like it would work for fruit snacks. So I guess I'll just spread this across. This part is actually pretty satisfying, just pushing it down into the slot, but I gotta make sure I fill them all. Okay, now I'm gonna scrape off the excess so that it doesn't become like a gooey mess later. And honestly, it was pretty easy to clean off. And now we have to chill it while we work on the peel part. I just realized they used purple grapes for this recipe because they used the skin to dye the water to make the grape peel. I have a better idea. Let's use some grape juice. And now to make that peeling purple layer, it's basically the same ingredient and the steps as the last one. So I'm gonna add the grape juice, some corn syrup, sugar, butter, let it melt this time. And then I'm gonna add in the cornstarch slurry. Actually, I feel like adding the cornstarch in the beginning might have been the better way to go because now it's starting to cook unevenly and there's like clumps of cornstarch in here. That's not good. Okay, it's got that nice jelly consistency again. The inside of our grape has chilled and they feel pretty firm. Let's pop them out onto some cornstarch. Texture does not feel gummy-like. It's just kind of sticky. I don't know about this. It doesn't really keep its shape either. It's just kind of like a goo. Definitely feel like gelatin should have been involved somehow. Okay, let's coat it in the cornstarch. I don't want to add tdd too much. Now, let me grab a little bit of the purple side. We're supposed to flatten flatten it out enough so I could wrap it all around the white one. It's so sticky. I'm trying to get a thin layer because that's how the peelers are. This is as close as I can get without it kind of just becoming mush. How'd she do it? It's like a combination of mochi and slime. Okay, I think this is the best I can do. I can get it off my fingers. Yeah, I might have one good one here. I'm not sure how we're gonna peel this. It's just so gooey. I'm just gonna try this. Pretend this is the grape skin. And here, I just peeled it out, revealing the gummy center. That's not very gummy. I mean, I definitely taste that grapey flavor, but the texture is really off. Both of them are just very mushy and nowhere as satisfying to peel as these peelers. Honestly, even though these are kind of hard to peel, I would take the store-bought one any day. Now there's a chew. The inside is a little bit more mushy and gummy like this one was trying to get, but the outside tastes like an actual gummy. Unfortunately, this from scratch recipe is definitely not worth making. 2 out of 10, but these gummies have potential to become iconic. These old-fashioned hand-spun ribbon candy are making a huge comeback on TikTok. I've been seeing so many TikToks of people trying them, but I've actually never had one before, so let's see what the hype is all about. Whoa! Okay, so they're individually wrapped like this in their own little section. This one looks really pretty with the two-tone colors. There's a slit right here with the string to open it, but I already know that I'm gonna break this. It's a hard candy, but it seems really fragile at the same time. Got it. Ta-da! It's actually pretty thick, so it's maybe not as fragile as I thought, but does it taste good? It's hard, but once you start chewing, it gets soft and chewy, pretty much like a candy cane because this is peppermint. And while I've seen the videos of the experts making these, it looks freaking hard as heck. So I found a modern day hack using one candy ingredient that could resemble this ribbon candy. So we'll be using some sour candy belts in an ice mold. So this TikTok right here just pulls it out from the freezer and it's already squiggly like a ribbon in there. So I gotta figure out how to do that. I'm just gonna wrap it around my fingers and try to make it even. And there you go. It's a little bit smaller than the old-fashioned kind, but it's already got built-in flavor with the sour. And now I have to freeze these for 24 hours, and when they come out, they're supposed to have a hard crack, but a nice chew just like these. Let's see if it works. It's been 24 hours and our ribbon candy should be hard now. Let me go ahead and transfer it onto a plate so you guys can see. Now I'm really curious about this because somebody in the comments said they tried this and it didn't work for them at all. Well, somebody else said it worked like magic, so I'm not really sure if mine's gonna work or not. She smashes hers and they break into tiny little glass-like pieces. Mine's not turning into glass-like pieces, but let's try it anyways. So much harder to chew than how it would be normally, and definitely nothing like these iconic ribbon candies. I might just have to go with the tried and true and stick to these. This hack gets 1 out of 10. Candy bars we grew up with were honestly kind of boring. We had the classic chocolate bar, and if it was exciting, maybe it was filled with peanut butter. And cookies and cream was probably the peak of innovation. Even the modern ones are a remake of the classic crunch bars. But then I saw this dessert on TikTok and it literally stopped my scroll. This candy maker has a shop in Canada where she makes every chocolate bar like a dessert bar. They're stuffed with things like s'mores or even birthday cake, and it oozes out when she breaks them, giving Dubai chocolate a run for its money. But since they don't ship to the US, you know what that means? I'm gonna have to learn the hard way and make it. Okay, so it looks like she starts off with one of these bigger Dubai chocolate molds and she sprays some kind of like gold shiny film at the bottom. I'm gonna do that a little later. But first, we have to melt our chocolate. Okay, it's melted, so now I have to give it a stir, let it fully melt, and to give that chocolate a snap, I have to seed it with some more chopped chocolates. And just stir everything until it's nice, melted, and smooth. Okay, now I'm gonna take the melted chocolate, pour it into the mold, and then I'll spread it out into a thin layer to cover the whole surface and all the edges. Let me push it up against the edge, make sure that's nice and thick. Because she mentioned some of them break really easily and they crack before she can even open them. And I'm looking for that satisfying ooze. So this looks good, but let me go ahead and level everything out just by tapping it on the counter. Hope that's good enough. But since I have the second mold open, I saw this birthday cake chocolate oozing candy bar. That looks too good, so I have to try that too. I'm gonna cover this whole side with some white melted chocolate. Somehow the white chocolate is a lot easier to work with. It just grips the sides a little bit better. But now that we have our thick layer, I'm gonna even it out again. And we'll go ahead and chill this to let it set. Okay, our chocolate shells have set, and this is where it gets really interesting. For this s'mores one, it looks like there's a layer of maybe ganache or chocolate frosting. So I'm gonna swipe that at the bottom real quick. I can honestly say I have never had a chocolate bar with frosting inside. We'll smooth it out like a cake. And we're not done yet because next she layers it with some marshmallow fluff to give it that oozy goo. I feel like a piping bag would be easier for this because it's just got that perfect line down the center. And there we have our little surprise center. But I think we have to fill the rest of the sides with more ganache. I'm just gonna be really careful about this. We gotta leave room for it to cover. I know that looks a little messy because I had to leave room to cover it with a graham cracker. How does the graham cracker actually stay crunchy in this bar though? I don't know, but we're gonna find out. Press it in. And that should be good. All that's left to do is cover it with more chocolate. But before we do that, I'm gonna work on this side. This one looks like it has blue frosting, and it's not as complicated or as exciting as the other one. And then she has literally a layer of birthday cake in there. And press it down. Okay, now I have to cover them with another layer of chocolate. I hope this works. I kind of filled it up way too far. This is a very thick and heavy piece of chocolate, but could it be better than the Dubai bar? Let me get rid of the excess. That looks pretty good. Now let's work on this side. Okay, it's not perfect, but I did notice for the birthday cake one, she adds a layer of sprinkles on top. It would not be a birthday without sprinkles. We'll chill it in the fridge one more time. Okay, our chocolate bars are set, but we're not quite done yet. I'm gonna unmold them. Oh no, it's already cracked. I was afraid of that. That was the same problem that she was saying about hers. But we're gonna keep going. Ugh! Hopefully this one turns out a little better. Look at that shine though. Hooray, no cracks on the white one. Even though they're flawed, we're not done yet because I noticed all of her chocolate has some kind of shading to them. So I found these edible color sprays and we're just gonna lightly dust them with some fairy dust. Her s'mores one had this gold sheen to it. It smells like vanilla. Her birthday cake one had shades of blue, pink, and yellow. We'll just use gold. I wonder what she used because mine's not really gripping. Will the pink one work better? Oh yeah. Oh, what happened? Okay, let's stand back and maybe it'll grip better. Actually though, much better. Some things should just be left to the pros. But here comes the best part, the satisfying oozy crack. Ready? That was not satisfying. It was already cracked, so I couldn't get a clean one, but this is as good as it gets. Let's try this wild s'mores chocolate bar. That's definitely more of a dessert than a candy bar. But I'm really curious about this one because it's basically a cake pop in candy bar form. Let's see if this one will give you that satisfying ooze. Yeah, this is so good. Look at that. That is a cake pop candy bar, and I think they should make this a thing. I could go without the s'mores because it was a little bit just too much for me, but I love this. And could these TikTok candy bars be better than the classic creations? They're a little extra, but I think so. I'm gonna give these dessert candy bars an 8 out of 10. So to answer my question, the TikTok candies are fun, but the old-fashioned candies just hit a little different because they were tied to a time. So maybe the real winner is whatever makes you feel something. Comment candy and tell me what defined your childhood. And if you like this video, go watch me test more TikTok candy recipes. Bye!